Welcome to the tiebreaker game between LDD and Super Juicy Vitamilk Torpedoes. I will be your color commentator for the night, Mr. Matty702, and joining me tonight,
Is Legends MK on play-by-play?
hey, how you doing, dude?
Dude, I'm doing well. How about you?
I am excited for this one. This is going to be it's going to be a really good game to look forward to. Um, really, what's going to be like the most exciting for me? I'm just going to hop right into it. Is I've watched a lot of both these teams. I'm very excited for the jungle matchup.
Yeah, what makes you say that?
Labby usually picks very high impact champions. You'll see him play like Vi. He's also had a couple other ones like Nocturne and Hecarim we've seen him play, but Taunus has been a very consistent. Like he'll either play a tank jungler because he'll play around his team like really well, or he'll do what Labby does, and it'll be really interesting to see if like two high impact junglers are gonna butt heads and kind of go at it and see what that's gonna do and how they're gonna play around their team comp.
Yeah, that's veritably a sound assessment. I wonder if Vitatis will even be jungling for the side of SVT tonight, as oftentimes when the opposing team has a strong laner, Vitatis will put himself in that lane to match them.
That's true. And Labby Dabby does have Lugo, and Lugo is incredibly strong in the mid lane. And we've seen, and this I want to praise Lugo a little bit. He's played a lot of variety of its champions, but like we've seen him on assassin-esque champions like Echo. Recently, he's turned Veigar into an assassin champion, which is absolutely awesome. Um, but it's really cool seeing how he's gone from this soloistic player to being a cooperative team player, and it's amazing. So I'm looking forward to see that matchup if they do match Vitalis with Lugo.
Yeah, and the last time these two teams met in this regular season, they Vitalis did slot himself mid, and he played that LeBlanc into This Is Lugo's Veigar. I wonder if we'll see a repeat of that matchup.
Ooh, do you remember who won that game? Cause
Yeah, Lively Debbie Dude definitely won that game by
ooh,
sitting in the bushes Vagar a couple times, and Vitatis just walking into them. I know that stings for him, and he's gonna laugh when he hears this stream or this VOD.
absolutely. That's what's gonna be rough, but I don't know. Each individual matchup I think is gonna be really good. We do have a sub today for Super Juicy Vitamilk Torpedoes. Unfortunately, Allergic to Milk won't be joining us. Instead, we have the hottest and the coolest Slaga subbing in. So I think this makes the bot lane a lot more interesting.
Yeah, and, such a perfectly fitting sub too, as Slaga and Allergic to Milk both field a terrific Alistar. I'm excited to see if they just sidestep Slaga into his role.
Yeah, I could see Slaga going on to Alistar or Thresh because we see Joe Biscuit Hat play very like a very select few supports. We've seen him on his Karma, which he's very comfortable on, very good at. We also see him on the Leona, which is another I feel very strong meta, but the certain apps tend to disagree with me. But I also wouldn't be surprised to see anyone pull out a Nautilus. Nautilus has been a very
Oh,
strong
that's
meta
true.
pick as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Nautilus having that ability to go into three lanes and arguably the jungle too. I'm excited to see which side of the or which team decides to pilot this. Although thinking about that, Rafal, Labyrinth, and Lugo don't really play that Nautilus, so it'd be less of a flex pick on the side of LDD than it would on the SVT.
I agree, and I think that's one of the. I think that'll be interesting to see that come through. Is if we do see this as a flex pick because not even Nautilus jungle is still remotely viable. Ideally, you're gonna see it as support mid or maybe top if you're feeling adventurous. But I do think um, what will happen is we're gonna see we're gonna see potential for flex picks. I think that we'll also see very safe picks in the bot lane. Super Kami is known for his Ezreal. He's very safe on Ezreal. And JJ Bell has been given Sivir so many times. And for him to continuously get this champion, like Sivir is very good at wave clear, is very good at poke. Like this is just an 80 carry that all around is what you're looking for. To me it's very much you should maybe target JJ Bell's pool if you feel that you can get Super Kami and Slaga ahead in the bot lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sivir being a double bullet fired at Labi Dabidu, as this is Lugo expertly pilots that Sivir in the mid lane as well.
That is true. He has played that. That's just you can never like Lugo is such a he's so good. He has so many different picks, and it's amazing to see like what he can do from like one champ to the next.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of double bullets, Super Juicy Vitamilk Torpedoes having that two bullet weapon in the form of Vitatis Didysis, Rididicis, and Super Kami Guru now. Both players are shining stars on this team, and two players you definitely want to look to shut down if you're on the side of Labby Dabby Doo.
I would 100% agree with that. Like these are going to be your main targets. Like as LDD, you're going to look for Super Kami. I think he was close for most kills in the regular season. He was just behind Lugo actually. So Super Kami
Yeah.
is super. He's so strong. And Vitalis just having the flexibility to and the knowledge of the game to just be able to kind of fill in to whatever role he's really needed. And that's really good to have that. But I'm also curious to see if they do start, if they do start utilizing the flexibility of SVT, if you're gonna put Torpedo in either the AD role or if you are gonna try and match him up with Lugo, and if you match him up with Lugo, are you gonna give him his Malzahar?
Yeah, Torpedo definitely one of the underrated players of this season. A lot of people writing him off as a weak player. However, if you just look at the stats he's put up, he's played three different roles this season. He's played mid, he's played Ashe, and he's played Lux in these different roles across mid, ADC, and support, and he's done them well.
Yeah, and that.
Players,
Oh, sorry, you go.
yeah, I was gonna say, players be wary about just writing his lane off as a loss.
Yeah, his flexibility, and I think you haven't even gotten to the depth of his pool. I definitely feel like while he you give him champions like the Lux and the Malzahar in the mid lane, I feel like he's hiding something. Like he secretly plays like a really clean like I don't know something ridiculous mid lane. You play like Nocturne mid or something. It's probably like super clean. But like you would never expect that from Will. And that's just
Yeah,
like
with without a doubt. I have no doubt that SVT has been holding stuff off for the playoffs, and now as we go into playoff season, this is the time for SVT to show their hand.
yeah, and especially because if I'm not mistaken, with this being a very important matchup for both sides, the winner plays I don't know they don't play Khalik Mababwe, do they? Or has that game already been set?
No, no, that'd be eighth place, please.
This
That was last night.
this is for Don't Ban Poppy or UTD who you're going to be playing. So
Right.
this is regardless is still a pretty big matchup because Legends on Tap is going to be playing OTP. Paw is going to be playing KB. Um, we're gonna see Don't Ban Poppy play one of these teams, and we're gonna see UTD play one of these teams, um, and both of those teams are actually very strong. So I think looking longevity wise, what do you think as someone who's in the league? Who do you think you would rather play? Would you rather play Don't Ban Poppy or UTD?
Well, it depends what team I'm on, right? So Juicy Vitamilk Torpedoes can take advantage of this jungle, mid, and bot synergy to push ahead of their game. And if I were that team, I'd definitely want to get matched up against UTD. Whereas if I'm sitting on the side of Labby Dabby Doo, where they have a top laner strength and a mid laner strength, they definitely want to play up against DBP. And so I think both of these teams have done their research and they know exactly who they want to match up against.
Oh, absolutely. And do you think? I mean, I'm not gonna say there's no plan here, but do you think some of that may come into consideration? Do you think they're maybe gonna play a little bit like a little more strategy for the long game and say, okay, we'll make it a good game, but like if it does, if it does go to the end game, it's like, all right, we're not gonna win this one. They're gonna try and do something, go for these crazy team fights at the very end. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think however the coin falls at the end of this match, neither team is too upset about how they end up, right? Unlike the match last night, neither team is playing for the lifeblood of the playoffs. However, as you pointed out, these teams definitely want to stay a little bit reserved in this match still. They don't want to show off everything they have, as this match does not have the same stakes as a real playoff match.
Yeah, and you're both it's like you said, you're both in now. At this point, you're just playing. All right, who are we gonna play? and that's actually really good because I'm gonna take away from this match for a little bit, and I want to talk just you because your match next week. I'm not gonna ask for secrets, but you guys are playing OTP next week, right?
Absolutely.
How you feeling?
Dude, I can't wait to get in the playoffs. We've played a singular style all season long, so that we get everybody to watch that style, and we can't wait to show you what we've been brewing in the meantime.
That's what I'm looking forward to. This is the time of the season where everything starts to ramp up, and it's like I love it here, and
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Like I've seen a lot of these teams have very consistent styles, but now once you get into the playoffs, which I think is a best of three series if I'm not mistaken, or is it best of five?
It will be a best of three in the playoffs and best of five in the finals.
So when you get into these best of threes, like you can, and a lot of the teams have had ties throughout the season where you go 1-1 in like the best of twos that we play. So maybe you'll see a strategy in game one. You're like, all right, let's completely 180 from that, and that's gonna be the just that's what's gonna come from the team, and it's gonna be so good to see just like a breath of fresh air of like different strategies, new ideas, new principles that like each team wants to bring, and to me that's really what I'm looking forward to is seeing just a ton of different stylistically like just stylistic differences that are going to come forth from each individual not only player but each individual team. um, and I truly do think that it's going to be absolutely amazing to see some of these different unique styles of play. Because one thing I do want to pick, or I'm not going to, I guess in this example, we have seen Labby Dabby Do be a very strong team that plays around, they play around Lugo and they play around Rafal. I'm curious to see if they try and maybe change, and those are your strengths. If you have your anchor, maybe try and expand a little bit. Maybe try and put JJ and Biscuit Hat on some sort of hyper carry bot lane combo to see what they can do. So if that's the case, like what are you gonna put him on? Has JJ been secretly practicing? We'll never know.
No, absolutely. You could not. I could not have said it better than you just did. What every team is preparing to bring to playoffs with individual strengths or just team strengths they tend to unveil in the upcoming few weeks here. It's going to be the most exciting thing we have to look forward to in this PMLCS, and I just can't wait to have this game start.
Yeah, agreed. I think we're waiting on JJ Bell and someone else, so we're just trying to fill the time. In the
No,
mean,
absolutely.
in the meantime, I got a story like just to step away from this. So, oh god, this was awful. I was playing what was it? I think I was just playing a norm, and I was like just trying something out. And this would be something that I really would like to see. I would love to see, Nautilus, like a Nautilus Pike bot lane. So, like that's just you like hold on.
So
That's
count.
it's absolutely you're like that's absolutely nuts. I was playing it yesterday with a friend. It's just nutty. Like it doesn't matter like if you can get both of those picks through, it's free. Like it doesn't I don't care what you say. Like you may just throw lanes super hard. It doesn't matter. It's free. Free win. It's just so fun.
I mean, speaking of bot lanes, how likely do you think it would be that we see a Yumi in this game?
Oh,
Or,
that's ooh. I don't
right.
know. I've been talking with I've been talking with Labby, and Labby says he enjoys the champion, but um I don't really think that Yumi's a feasible jungle pick. I mean, to prove me wrong. If you could prove me wrong, go ahead.
Pretty
Um,
sure you're right. Don't worry about. I wouldn't worry about that one.
so it looks like we will be getting in a pick ban here soon. I hope.
All right. So what
Dun.
bands do you expect we'll see?
Oh, target. They're gonna target Lugos Vagar. They 100% target Lugos Vagar. There's
Or do you think Vitalis wants that salty run back?
I don't know, but we do see the Vi band come out. Ooh.
Yeah, and Navidavidu answers with a Zed ban, a classic anti-Vitatis mid. So they're assuming that Vitatis Didysis is gonna go mid.
And then and there it is. We do see the respect for Lugo's Vagar. I would not be surprised to see the third ban come out and be Echo. Or if they leave it up, are they going to leave it up and maybe give the Echo over to Vitalis if he goes mid?
Yeah, there's also the possibility that Vitatis or SVT recognizes maybe that Echo is just not a good pick right now, and they probably just don't want to waste a ban on it.
That's honestly entirely possible, but we do see some tank top lane picks. We see the Scion and the Kled knocked out as well, which
Yeah,
I like.
yeah, that's huge. As Tankfield Juice has often been relegated to place on in this matchup, and while there is a Pike pick, we all know that Super Kame Guru is
Nautilus.
amazing on this Pike. But
Give me that
but
Nautilus.
MSI spoilers. Do you think that Pike could be going top?
It's entirely possible. But what I think it is, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Slaga has become a Pike main. Ooh, we see the Ash come out. That probably means Torpedo's going bot. And we see, oh, I think that might. They have the
That's a
flexibility.
Vitatis pick. No, that's a Vitatis pick. I think, in my opinion, right there.
That's
Him and I always talk about playing Silas and how fun this champion is. I imagine he's going to take it. Although Garfield Juice has, or sorry, Tankfield Juice has spent some time on this Silas.
and there's the Nautilus pick. That's what you love to see. I'm gonna be excited for this bot lane. I do think
Absolutely.
I think the Sivir gives a little more strength to the 2v2 against Ashe. I mean, the slow is super nice for Ashe and the stun, but Sivir easily counters that. So it's going to force you to either focus the Nautilus, or maybe this is all just a prank and this is Labby playing Nautilus jungle.
I mean, regardless, one can almost say Labidabidu has gotten their dream draft so far. They've gotten two huge main champions on Echo and Sivir.
Yeah, when you get comfort picks like this, and nothing to this league. This league is all about playing to what you know, and I've found this out. Like for me, I'm in Silver 2, and I have no problem talking about it. But Silver 2, when you're playing in that, is not about team composition. I mean, it is slightly, but like mainly the way you win games in Silver 2 is like picking picks you're comfortable on. So when people are like, "Hey, I want you to play, I want you to play Janna, I want you to play Lulu," I'm like, "I've never played those champions in my life." I was like, "Can I?" I was like, "Let me play Thresh, let me play Nautilus, let me play Leona, like let me play stuff I'm comfortable on, and we can win the game." And they're like, "All right, whatever." And it's like we actually win lane and win the game. It's like, who would have thought? Such a bold thought.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, definitely for players that are new or just like don't have the time to spend in like playing the game all the time. I think it is better to just focus on comfort picks. You're gonna enjoy the game on those champions that you enjoy, and you're gonna play better as a result. I agree.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the best parts about this game. We see we saw this in the final week of play. We saw Labby's Warwick. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
Warwick definitely being a champion has been secretly just like subtly buffed every single patch, not as a champion directly rather, but just how the game has evolved around him. And Labyrinth 1898 really abusing or rather using this Warwick subtle buffs to his advantage.
Yeah, I agree. And I just want to make a quick note. We do see Rafal's Rumble band, and Rafal had talked about in one of the post game interviews. He's like, "Yeah, there was one time where I just like I'm pretty sure I picked Rumble into like a really bad matchup. So I don't know if SVT was like sliding some like here. We'll help you with your matchup. Just don't play Rumble into Rise."
Actually, I imagine it's actually going to be Vitatis Didysis on that Rise, and it will be Takefield Juice on that top uh,
Cho'Gath.
Silas.
I could be Silas Jungle. That'd be really interesting to see.
I really hope it is. As a as a predominant Silas Jungle lover myself, I really don't think Silas Jungle is possible anymore. But I can't wait to be proven wrong.
I listen. I support you, and that's a top lane on hit. I'm assuming that's gonna be a top lane on hit Nico from Rafal. Okay,
Yeah.
this is this is actually this is actually like 100 IQ. So, one, Silas has a ton of incredible ultimates to steal from. So SVT definitely has that advantage. And two, I'm very interested to see how this Nico on hit is going to play into the top lane.
Yeah, and hopefully, Tankfield Juice can play that Rise, because if Tankfield Juice elects to continue staying on the sauce and goes top into this Nico pick, he's gonna have an awful time. And even if he's playing the Cho'Gath instead, that's still gonna be an awful time. So hopefully they SVT thought this out and they have these flex lanes in mind.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good to see. I'm really
Yeah. So
looking forward to this.
so Matt, run me down and tell me how you think these lanes are gonna go each.
So let's operate under the assumption that that we have a top lane. We have a top lane on hit Nico versus Cho'Gath, because
Okay.
that's what I think it's gonna be. Because I don't know, how does jungle Cho'Gath work? Like I know he is pretty.
It's good.
It's I was gonna say it's pretty good clear. Can you see
It's
who would? Hmm.
it's a solid B tier, and if Menbung is watching the stream, he'll know that I've been spending the last like week just playing Jungle Choga.
Yeah.
It's strong. It has a solid clear, decent ganks.
Yeah. I don't know. See, this is pretty hard. We can okay. We can settle on the bot lane being Ashe, Pike, and Sivir Nautilus. That's agreed upon. I think I give that matchup to the Sivir Nautilus. I do think the Ashe Pike is very strong, but because of Sivir's spell shield, she's able to negate. Well, actually, no. Because if you hit Bone Skewer or you hit any form of CC with Pike, that immediately opens up for Ashe Arrow. So like the chain CC could be super strong from SVT and just negate the spell shield. I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I definitely think the Sivir Nautilus is easier to play than the Pike Ash. And I definitely think the onus to outplay, actually, just in general, is on Team Super Vitality Milk.
Yeah. So wait a second. I'm so confused. If you look in the draft, we see Torpedo on Rise.
Yes, but they have until what 20 or 30
Oh,
seconds
that's
to
right, with
switch.
trades and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, okay, so
yeah. And theoretically, Silas, Rise, and Cho'Gath can all be swapped around until those last few seconds. So perhaps they're just hoping to screw around with some runes or thought processes on the side of LDD.
just mix them up. Those big brain plays.
I I would eat my own shoe if they sent Rise to support and Pike top instead. That'd be amazing.
What if it's? Hear me out. So what if it's Rise AD, Ashe support, and Pike top?
Genius.
Dude.
Honestly, if Super Vitamilk doesn't do this, they're ridiculous. They're just not belong in the playoff.
Dude, come on. These are just like the 500 IQ just out of the box. Like imagine that though. I was talking about this with I can't remember who. I was talking about this with someone. I was like, I want to try something really stupid. And my first thought was like Glacial Augment Varus was my first thought, and I was like, that I've had worse ideas.
Yeah, that Bork will slow him down. That's true. It'll trigger that glacial augment.
This just I'm like, huh. Cuz even if you buy GOP on Varus, you still get some buff from it.
Yeah.
Like it's not awful. It could be worse.
Or hear me out. You could just build Blade of the Rune King and still trigger glacial augment.
Just build it
I
all.
just-
Just build all the slow items.
Just build all the items that slow. Randu and Zoman get the 5-man glacial augment slow. Huge. It's actually genius. I don't know why tanks don't do that. I'm gonna try that in my next normal game coming to you. I'm gonna play a tank and I'm gonna build that Righteous Glory with glacial augment. I'm gonna run in there, charge as soon as it explodes. Everybody gets glacial.
Honestly, not a horrible idea.
That's brilliant.
Especially if you just like, oh, what if you do that with like Sejuani?
Yeah.
Oh my god, the combos, baby.
They'll never dodge your glacial prison.
Oh my god. It's Silas Jungle.
Oh my god, I really can't.
Let's do it.
Okay, so maybe I'll be proven wrong, but with Silas's Abscond Duck being nerfed to an 18-second cooldown, he actually is missing 2 whole spells than he used to be. Actually, 4 whole spells that he used to have in his jungle rotation, meaning every camp is slower by 4 spells.
Yikes. I think that just means what's going to happen is we're going to see a little bit more like early game support from the laners going over to give Kami a little bit of help on the Silas. But now that we see all the matchups and we don't have to guess anymore, I give the top lane I think goes to Nico.
It absolutely does, unless Vitatis Odysseus decides to swap a tank field and decides to play Rise top while tank field goes Cho'Gath mid.
But then if that's the case, if you flip flop that, how do you play Cho'Gath into Echo? Because it's just the same. It's a very similar circumstance, with your with Echo having a bit more like mobility vice than Nico.
But Echo is not ranged and not auto
That's
attacking
true.
Cho'Gath down. So Cho'Gath can level Vorpal Spikes and just lane into the Echo. He does have the Scream, the Feral Scream to even out that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if Team SVT will catch on to this swap. Regardless, I'm interested to see what they can do. As like I said earlier, the onus to outplay is definitely on SVT.
Oh, absolutely. What would be awesome though is we see Ash go mid and Rise go bot, and we put Cho'Gath bot. Just like these are all flex picks. Nothing is set except for the Silas jungle. Just what if solo lane Ash, go back to like what season like 2 or 3 when like Ash mid used to be decent.
Yeah, like I think it was pre-season 1 when we had ADC's mid and those
Hey,
APC's bottom.
wait, dude, Ezreal mid is still viable. Ezreal mid is still 100% viable.
That was a low D tier. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I didn't say it was good. I said it was viable.
That's true. That's true. It's about the same strength as Ash support right now. All right. So looking at these two teams, Mr. Matt, who do you think is gonna win?
This is, man, I don't know. This is hard because both of these comps demonstrate a lot of unique fighting capabilities. Especially, I do very much like Lavi WW's comp, especially with the Warwick. I think the hard engage tool on the Warwick with the follow up from Nautilus is very strong. But I do think the amount of options for engage from the side of SVT is a little bit stronger with Ash, Arrow, Pike, Bone Skewer, as well as the I can never remember what his E is called. It's called the dash. Silas, like the Silas dash in Cho'Gath knockup.
Abscond, abduct. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's so much hard engage for the team fight, and the 5v5 strength I think goes over to SVT, but an individual matchup, if Vitalis and Lugo go blow for blow, I think it goes over to SVT. But I think if you even give Lugo like even just an inch of a lead, he's gonna run with it, and he's gonna be able to like demonstrate that, be able to be the assassin Echo that he's meant to be, and just be able to steamroll.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like as you said, the lane matchups definitely go in the favor of LDD, and if they get that lead, it'll definitely be hard for SV to come back, as they're gonna have to play some brilliant macro games. Whereas on the side of, as you said, SVT, when they try to team fight, they definitely have more tools. As on hit Nico really doesn't, it's not going to be an on hit Nico. As we're saying that, as Rafal has locked in that glacial augment, so we definitely will see an AP Nico coming out of him.
Mm. And that honestly, and nothing that may be what the turning point could be. That could be
Yeah,
huge.
that's actually really good for tank field juice in my opinion. As on hit Nico definitely has the upper hand in the matchup, but AP Nico on the other hand, not as strong.
I would agree with that 100%.
So we'll pause at 10.
That sounds like a plan. Leak. Okay. Does it want to load? Cooperate? Maybe? Excellent. Alright.
Let me know when you're at 10.
Alrighty. I'm gonna get the last things set up and taken care of. Scoreboard up. Time controls off. Alright, you ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go. 11, 12, 13.
Yep. We're good. So as we launch into this game, how do you think each team's gonna do set up for their early game?
Um, I think it's just going to be you're going to see standard defenses come out. I don't think you're going to see anything particularly unique, but I am very interested. We see the minion dematerializers come out from the from Lugo. So, it's a very
Yeah, Echo
interesting start.
definitely. Yeah, Echo notoriously having a bad matchup into Rise, as Rise can just poke him down between auto attacks and his E. I think it's like Spell Orb or something like that. Spell Flux.
Yes.
So Echo is going to be kept away from the wave quite often.
And Another very interesting. Oh no, where did it go? We do see the Rise opt for the just mana crystal 3 pots. So the sustain I think is going to favor the Rise. Vice, obviously the poke with the corrupting potions from Lugo is going to be good. But I do think that the overall sustain is going to be much better for the Rise. But I'm very interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I'm also really interested to see that Vitidus Didystis went with the 3 pots instead of just a refillable potion. Some Rise, if they're losing the lane, tend to go back for Corrupting Potion and Tear of the Goddess.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps this is a show of confidence.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. Another interesting thing is we see the refill pot come out from Super Kami Guru, but Labby opting just to take Machete and then the bead.
Yeah, this is standard for Warwicks, as Warwicks definitely have way too much sustain in the jungle, being a champion that is built just for the jungle.
It's just, yeah, you're just made for it, so you don't really need the potions.
Yeah, and it puts him 150 gold closer to that Tiamat on this first recall.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what you need.
And here we'll see the Rise bully out with that spell flux and auto attacks as he should versus this Echo.
I think we're gonna see. Ooh, I wonder. For those of you who don't know, JJ Bell was potentially gonna be late to this game. I wonder if his 9-hour drive is gonna be affecting his gameplay.
Well, regardless, it definitely affects his team morale as he showed up for his team. And Echo trying to get some trading in with that time dash, but really getting punished as Rise has just more lane advantage, or range advantage, sorry.
Yeah, and Tankfield Juice taking a lot of damage up in the top lane from this Nico. We'll very much see, like he already popped both of his pots. Oh my god, or his pot one. Oh gosh.
Yeah, as we're talking about range advantages, Nico's auto attack mixed with that Tango Barbs and Pop Blossom, definitely a bane to Cho'Gath, whose short range really has him suffer versus these range matchups.
Yeah.
Not to mention, with that Glacial Augment rune, Nico can just tag on with an auto attack to get that slow, almost guaranteeing the snare follow up.
Yeah, and that's just gonna make it super rough. We do see Darkseal come out early here from Lugo. I love the confidence. Like I'm not even gonna say it's just like it's arrogance. Knowing that you have the strong enough, like one, it could be for the potion healing because that's always great and that's something I always forget about. But two, just the additional healing is nice. But like if you can get those kills early, which he may feel like he can.
Yeah, it certainly can be both. I mean, the potion definitely going to help him sustain in this bullying lane. And there a slight micro mistake by Labby trying to stick around for that smite war when his mid laner was just recalling. So as a result, Super Kami Guru will get that first scuttle of the game.
Yeah, and we all know that scuttles win games.
Yeah, people do make this joke, but scuttles are actually a massive golden experience lead on the early game. So having access to both scuttles means you're an entire level ahead of your opponent.
Yeah, and that's super strong. I mean, just not only that, but giving yourself the map pressure to know, like, okay, this is where I have the dominance, and I can obviously play a little bit more around this. And they're setting up, or the way that SVT kind of aligned it, is they have vision of topside, so they're maybe gonna opt to go ahead and set up for the Rift Herald first, Vice the first dragon, which the first dragon is going to be a Cloud Drake.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we see a 4-man setup by the side of LDD as they decided to peel off and go back towards Bryce, who did not opt to use teleport to get back in lane. Something to think about. Warwick can take Dragon at level 3, so having this vision set up by LDD around this Dragon, and Labby certainly knowing the champion, will attempt this.
Oh yeah. Oh.
And we see the phase dive, but no time winder, as the stun did just barely miss from the Echo. Rise playing on the top side of his lane, knowing where Echo and Warwick was the whole time.
Yeah, just good general map knowledge, especially knowing, Vitalitas playing a little bit more safe, saying, okay, well, we just saw them kind of push down. There was a couple of them bot. Maybe I didn't get to see that. But we do see, now we see that there's a whole slew of red wards through the jungle, and especially around that dragon. So the Silas going to try and opt for this. Even if he's just going to clear vision, Lugo may have an opportunity to come just roam around and, just chip him out. Oh.
Yeah, Lugo now seeing Super Kami Guru, knowing his jungler is not nearby, won't actually take advantage of that, but you're definitely right. He does have all this vision access. He can go to the bot lane when he wants, and all he has to do is outpush this Rise. He's going to go in for that phase dive time winder and get that passive trigger, which will give him all that move speed, but versus Rise, it's just not enough. Especially when Rise can just lock you down and combo you right back, which is what makes this matchup so difficult for Echo.
Absolutely. We do see JJ Bell out of mana, and we see the Silas coming in. This is going to be rough. Oh,
Yeah, Super
Slaga.
Kamiguru is going to set up for the first Silas gank of the game. We see Slaga with a terrific dash into flash combo, followed by the Ash Slow, and Abscondum Duck locking down the opponent's going to earn them a whole flash and heal from JJ Bell. However, the turnaround with Dreadline from Nautilus is going to go ahead and take down the Torpedo as he falls to the 4-man response from the side of LDD.
All I'm going to say, and Slaga, when you watch this VOD, like, please, that's just, you can't do that. That's one of those things where it's just too good. That was absolutely perfectly timed flash, and he caught both of them. So not even having, like, just waiting until the very last moment to where JJ Bell couldn't immediately spell shield.
No, it definitely was a brilliant use of the pike mechanics there by Slaga, showing his mastery with this champion. And as we mentioned earlier, Warwick's early access to that dragon will earn his team an early air Drake.
Absolutely. And the Cloud Drake is movement speed, if I'm not mistaken, because Ocean Drake is regen, right?
Right.
So the out of combat movement speed is going to be very good for the early goings, especially for the Nautilus. The Nautilus is very slow and takes a little bit to get going to be able to be kind of what I consider an effective, a roaming support. Once you get the what is it, moods of like mobility. Once you get the mobies, you're so much more effective around the map. But getting the Cloud Drake is so effective, like, to getting you even further ahead in that mobility. And now you can play to your strength, saying, okay, Lugo, if Lugo's going to get shoved in, if you're going to let Lugo shove in, just go ahead and just rotate. Because you can keep with your new 6 second, 6 seconds for the stun, or the root now on Nautilus, like, that cooldown is going to be so effective to just locking Vitalis down. And if you can chain that with some other CC, like from Lugo.
Yeah, and here we see Lugo going with that phase dive time runner combo, getting that passive off. However, something to note about Vitus Odysseus is running Bone Playing on the rise, and combined with that, his passive shield from his overload shield and aftershock, those trades are going to be in his favor quite often.
Absolutely. But I wonder, like we were saying, just if you do get the Nautilus gank who can chain CC so well, are you still gonna be winning those trades? Obviously, it's 2v1, you have a little bit more damage output, but you're just able to keep him in place longer.
Yeah, and I think Vitus Odysseus, I'm going to murder his name all game, recognizes the fact that he's on this like back leg from those possible Nautilus roams, just how strong Echo can kill him, so he's going to play by his tower. Actually, if the viewers will keep an eye on that minimap, Vitus Odysseus pushes out his wave to the middle and then just walks back to his turret, not even giving an opening to get camped.
Oh.
Yeah, we see a dredge line go in right onto the Torpedo, followed by a Boomerang Blade. And then he's going to go off with the auto attack ricochet combo, but he's going to get bone skewered back on the turret by a Phantom Undertow. He's going to flash out of the way from that stun, and they're going to earn Torpedo's heal there at trade for Biscuit Hat's flash.
Yeah, and I ultimately think that's worth it, especially in the very early onset of this game. Having the mobility with Nautilus, like your Q being able to drag you to terrain objects as well, and it just shortens the cooldown, I think, by like 50-60%. It goes from like you hit something with, you go like, all right, I have like a 12-second cooldown. I was like, all right, I hit something wall.
And here we're gonna see a 4-man play. Odyssey's gonna go ahead and take Nautilus's depth charge ultimate, knock both of them up with that depth charge, securing him a double kill to the side of SVT.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about, the availability of just of different ultimates for Silas to seal. You have Nautilus. He could have stole Sivers there. Either way, you're gonna just run it down. Oh.
And we're gonna see a bone skewer attempt onto this is Lugo, but this is Lugo definitely having up tills get out of the way. Yeah, definitely he could have hijacked Sivers' ultimate. We're gonna see a Pharaoh Scream, a little bit of trading between Rafal. Rafal's gonna go ahead and use that ultimate, and he's just gonna get flashed out of. But we see this is Lugo sitting in the corner, maybe for a follow-up gank to take him down. Tankle Juice might feel a little more safe now. The Pop Blossom's down. This is Lugo going to go ahead and catch him up in that parallel divergence. Going to land the full combo, follow up by some no snare by the Nico, but they're going to take the kill anyway.
Yeah, I think they're just going to try and give it over to gosh. This is what I was talking about. So Lugo only, you might be like, oh, Lugo only has one stack. That 1 inch that he needs is going to be enough to get him. And here we see Super Kami. Ooh.
Yep. We see Super Kami hijacking yet another choice ultimate. And I was going to bring that up in the bot lane. Perhaps the reason why he didn't try to hijack Sivers on the hunt is because Sivir could just spell shield that skill. So he definitely made the better choice by taking Death Charge there.
That's true. That is a little bit. I do believe that Death Charge is a little bit harder to spell shield and time correctly, because you can obviously see it coming towards you, but I think if someone steps in front of it, that changes the timing of it. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not a Nautilus main, yeah, but I could have swore that was the case. So that like even if Biscuit had been had stepped in front to try and like help out, just it would have gone awry. And now we start to see Slaga have the capability to have a little bit more freedom in roaming. Ooh.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see that SVT has played around their bot lane so far. Perhaps they feel they just want to correct their losing lanes, but instead they're going to go ahead and secure that Rift Herald. While Slaga defends this ward with a Bone Skewer. And LDD is going to go ahead and look into the jungle side of SVT, knowing that the opposing jungler is up top. They might turn on this dragon and just take it.
I don't know about that. I mean, the concept is there, but we do see Lugo going pretty deep for it.
Yeah, Lugo definitely doing his best to zone everybody out, throwing out parallel convergences. The Rift Herald is going to come up mid to take away the rest of those planes, and perhaps the first tower. The arrow comes down onto this is Lugo. This is Lugo not having his ultimate available means he's going to have to phase dive over the pit towards the dragon in safety.
And we do see
Oh, we're going to see Silas get chased down by the Nico. He's going to run away from the tank bar. He's going to re-engage with Stuck. He's going to pop his own Pop Blossom for massive damage, but he's going to be stuck in there as he is CC'd down by that Nautilus. Bone Spear is going to come and try to pull the tower range. She's going to use her flash, and we're going to see a Spell Flux to no Overlord combo kill.
Yeah, that's very. There was a lot that kind of just like quickly transpired, and the biggest thing that happened there is we do see the combo Nico ults 1-for-1, and being able to lock down the Silas and not having to trade anything on the side of Labby Dabby Do is really good for them. Unfortunately, it cost Kami his life, but I think regardless, having Super Kami Guru's flexibility is really good.
Yeah, Silas's nerf to Kingslayer's healing really showing in his early game inability to tank too much damage after landing such a massive ultimate for the team. Plus, the side of SVT having to scale so hard means that those massive ultimates won't result in much right away. We're going to see a teleport play by Tankfield Juice. He's going to teleport down to combo with Slaga. Slaga's going to go for that Phantom Undertow. He's going to barely miss the Nog. He's going to get that Bone Skewer and flip him over. Cho'Gath chasing. We're going to get that finish by Slaga, and then the fight's going to go on. Slaga gets taken down by This Is Lugo with multiple phase time and time warner combos, but the fight's going to dissipate. Ride's getting in range for that ultimate.
Yeah, support for support, but you do see the TP wasted from mid lane, vice the TP wasted from top lane. So Vitalis is going to be able to shove in. We do see Labyrinth holding mid lane, but we also see the Nico shoving in, and that's going to be that's going to hurt Tankfield a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tankfield giving up his tower to take that kill. Maybe that's what they're looking for. Maybe they're just hoping the game opens up, as they did elect to take Rift Herald up top.
Yeah, and that was really beneficial to locking down. Oh.
Wow, he hijacks the ultimate from Warwick, but he's going to put himself well beyond tower range. He's going to end up getting himself killed here.
Yeah, a little aggressive from Super Kami there, but I do think it was good intent. Especially because you knew it was a one. You had originally thought it was just a 1v1. You do see the Nautilus come in and use Depth Charge as well, so that's another ultimate down for the side of Labby Dabby Do, and that's probably their hardest engage tool aside from Labby hitting an individual target or Rafal getting a really big Pop Blossom.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see that Rafal in the meantime has just spent so much time split pushing. He's completed a full item. He's CS up on Tankfield Juice, and just down the line the CS differential seemed to be on the side of LDD.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about. You get on your comfort picks, you get on picks you know how to play, and things you can get into that rhythm and that groove with, and we start to see that a little bit, and that's kind of like, all right, we're seeing JJ Bell Silver just take off. We're seeing Lugo's Echo. We're seeing Rafal. I don't really know if Rafal is a Nico main, but hey, if you're good at it, you play it.
Yeah, Rafal definitely showing his prowess on multiple champions across multiple splits. It's not shocking to see him to pull out something he might have shown earlier.
Like we said, there's
something to think about.
Secret strats.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of secret strats, something to think about. The stakes of this game not being so large could be used as a bait game for viewers to maybe look for champions that they just, bait. Maybe they could just be looking to pull bans.
Yeah. Because we haven't seen Biscuit Hat on the Nautilus, but I mean obviously with the buffs he's very strong, very meta, so that makes a little more sense. But it's just like, man, there's champions in this game that we haven't seen, and we're also waiting for some of those champions that don't have any wins. Like, you know, I don't think Quinn still has a win yet. So Quinn Jungle, you gonna pull it out?
I actually, my Mastery 7 on Quinn does come uniquely from the jungle, so coming to a lot game near you. Don't worry.
Oh god. I was told I wasn't supposed to disclose secrets.
Come on, man.
Dude, I didn't mean to. I debated you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you see Dragon coming up. This is the next play LabbyDabby was set around. You have to wonder if SCVT is going to start pulling the resources together and fight for some of these dragons.
You know, it would make a lot of sense, but at the same time, you gotta wonder, is it worth giving up these potential even larger CS differentials?
Yeah, and Super Kamiguru goes in with that Abscond duck. That frosted arrow landing right onto This Is Lugu and being finished off by Slaga's death from below, gifting gold over to Torpedo and Super Kamiguru now.
That's what you want.
Making it a triple kill nearly.
Yeah, that was a very good. Ooh, excuse me. That was a very good arrow. Just well anticipated from the Torpedo. You never really know, like, especially how a character's gonna move and how his mobility is much different. And especially with someone like Echo, you gotta be very cognizant, especially of the dash, like him being able to move as frequently as he does.
Yeah, and here we'll see Super Kamiguru just dump that Chrono Break ultimate as it was just about to wear off. You know, use it for free health, he gets back. And speaking of, you know, how I brought up earlier how Torpedo just shouldn't be written off, this is a shining example here where Torpedo is just absolutely beneficial to the team on. And we'll see the Spell Flux into Rune Prison combo on Nico. Nico will be forced to use that Pop Loss for the shield. The Abscond Duck's going to get on it. Kingslayer is going to finish him off with the auto attack. This is Lua trying his best to repay the debt onto Super Kamiguru. He's going to go ahead and finish him off with that passive on Echo. He's going to try to phase dive away. He's going to get locked down by the Rune Prison, followed by Phantom Undertow. Meanwhile, Tankville Juice off on the side, tanking down 3 champions. Looked like JJ Bell was lagged out there. We'll see what the results of that. This guy's going to go down as well. And it looks like JJ Bell did in fact DC during that fight. As a result, a double kill goes over to the side of Tankville Juice.
Yeah, that's very rough. So that's one of those things, like the typical PMA LCS saying of you hate to see it definitely comes into play. Because I saw JJ standing still, I was like, I'm not sure if everything's okay, or like he's just like I don't know what to do.
Pro tip for all the viewers that are participating in the league still, if you're playing a role that can afford it, make sure you leave auto attack on in case you DC.
Very, very important. Especially if you play, like, you know, Jinx. Auto attacks are all you need.
Yeah. And we're back in it. As that fight goes over to the side of SVT, SVT looking to position themselves around this Air Drake, and maybe they're just going to take this Air Drake as a reward for the successful fight they just incurred.
Yeah, and that's entirely possible. And one thing I do want to point out is I think there was at one point, you know, there was a gold differential, but now we see a 2-kill differential, but SVT is now caught up. But it's still so tight in the money race, but like objectively speaking, you know, LabbyDabby is down. They're 2 kills down, but they're a tower up. They have the 2 dragons, yes. But you know, it depends on who you're targeting, especially with some shutdown gold. I think that was on Lugo. You know, I don't know if the money should be this close.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some hidden values that we're missing out on. Just so everybody understands what happened there, there was a 4K gold differential between the 2 teams just before those last fights. But you have to wonder how much gold is separate from depth from below. And here we're going to see Super Kamiguru go right onto This Is Lugo, going to dodge on his parallel convergence. He did hijack a Chrono Break ultimate, so he has no fear digging as deep as he can, knowing that he can just Chrono Break back with his AP ratios. But yeah, going back to that, depth from below from Pyke definitely has shared at least 1,500 gold this game. And another pause is coming out as JJ Bell, never mind, as they're not going to go ahead and do that. It seems JJ Bell's going to have some difficulty connecting here. You see Super Kamiguru hunting down This Lugo again with the Abscond Duck barely missing due to phase diving out of the way. Slago was sitting in his underwater dive position waiting for that Bone Screw. He's going to go ahead and Bone Screw on this Rune Prison target, and then Phantom Undertow followed by that death from below, once again granting 300 gold towards Vitus Odysseus. He's going to get a second death from below on the JJ Bell that must have been at the absolute threshold for that ability.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it looked like, you know, obviously it's in an X, it looked like JJ was just on the outside of that bottom, like the bottom right portion of the X.
Another beautiful bone spear followed by a Scout of Ducks and the death from below, gonna drop her health just low enough for Super Combo Guru to finish off with a Chain Lash auto combo. And it just seems that Team LDD is falling apart.
Yeah.
After
That's rough. But at the same point, there was a really good flash by JJ. I do want to give him credit, especially that's one of the more difficult flashes to make, and like as far a direction as he was able to get, and just try and skirt on out of there. So very well done by him. But yeah, this now we start to see the momentum shift, and I'm wondering if it was because, you know, obviously not everything is perfect. You know, we're gonna have connection issues, we're gonna have stuff like that, but that could maybe be the turning point.
Yeah, and something else to think about. A lot of these teams in the PMI LCS benefit greatly when they're in the laning phase, and for a team leadership to recognize how to punish that, SVT definitely took a hold of that. For example, LDD often has found themselves winning off of their leads in lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
So SVT gave up the dragon advantages. They went and took the Herald, and they just tried to get out of the laning phase as fast as they can, because once they knew they're out of the laning phase, they can make the macro calls, and they can rotate around their opponents.
Absolutely. And I do think that we're seeing not only a lot of that, but even still, you say that the lanes individually are a little bit weak. Obviously, we do see the CS differential between top and bot. Mid lane is still pretty close, and I'm going to attribute that to both the skill level of Vitalis, but additionally, like just knowing how to play you're not looking just at the immediate. You're looking for how can we do this.
Wow, amazing 4-man ultimate, even with the infinite duress onto Vitalis, and there is no way a motionless Rise can get out of that 4-man fight mid. So you see Tankfield Juice try to ward off this illegal. This Echo's strength is definitely waning off as the game gets later and later.
Oh yeah, but we do see
another
Ooh.
Sorry, the fight continues as he phase eyes back in with the Time Water Protobot combo. He has been joined by 3 other members of LDD. The Dreadline's going to pull Tankfield back into the, I was going to say death pit. And Biscuit had barely escaping from that death from below, walking away, but he's going to get finished off by Super Kami Guru. Sloggin's going to go into that underwater dive and follow up with a Bone Skewer and 2 members, followed by Fans under the stunning Warwick. However, the Torpedo's getting chased down by this Lugo, who's going to go back into this Parallel Divergence for some shield. They're going to go ahead and finish off Super Kami Guru with that phase dive auto attack. The fight has just turned in favor of LDD again.
And that's something that I was waiting for, as a lot of these fights hadn't really been full 5-on-5s. You know, they get the initial, like the 5-on-5 is going to be stronger for SVT, but you go ahead and you knock out one player and then you try it again, it's a much different game. So they went ahead and they targeted Vitalis because they feel Vitalis is probably one of the strongest, like, mechanic, I say in general, one of the strongest players on that team, already completing the Seraph's Embrace, having double needlessly large rod. That's a very strong Rise. So not uncommon to see that taken out, but then we do see the turn and just the mechanics and the knowledge of their champions, with Lugo being able to know like how much damage he can output before he really needs to back off from that fight. And we see them going to set up around this Infernal Drake too.
Yeah, really abusing the true limits of his champion. Here they're going to set up around this Inferno. They're going to have full vision control and pick advantage onto the side of... He's going to go in and get a single double-man parallel convergence. The pop-off to fall up to lock up. Tankfield Juice going to go down right away. Tankfield Juice definitely not tanky enough to take 5 members down. The Dredge Line going to go down on the Slaga. Reverse pop blast one by Super Kami Guru is going to go ahead and lock up 2 players. He's going to have enough health as Rise comes in to finish up the game, but Super Kami Guru is going to get CC'd down. The Bone Skewer is going to go down onto the Labyrinth. Labyrinth's not going to even feel that effect as SVT has to leave the fight with their tails between their legs, and LDD is going to turn around and reward themselves with an Infernal Drake.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see Slaga try and come in, go, you know. Oh, and this is what just come in, yeah, come in your underwater, in the underwater, like just swimming, and just try and ult it. But a little bit too quick. Very well done, very well secured on the side of LDD. And we see the gold differential now, like the momentum is just back and forth this game. This is like the exciting PMA LCS like we love to see.
Yeah, with these multi-man fights definitely going on the way. SVT definitely just needs to script these fights to their favor more. Tankfield Juice falling down so early meant they were left without a front line, whereas LDD wants to keep doing these like back and forth fights. They want to kite back and then go back in, just bounce behind. So it just feels like LDD is getting the fights the way they want them to be.
Did you say Vitalis is scripting? Is that what I heard? I mean,
Oh, that's how he wins.
oh, did you right? All right, my bad,
Yeah,
my bad.
yeah, yeah.
Ah, I thought it was a secret. No, okay, all right, we good. But
Yeah.
no, it's
Speak.
um, but something I did briefly want to mention is we don't see a lot of very unique combinations of like keystones and masteries. We see pretty standard stuff, but we do see Rafal's glacial augment, and I do think that's very important to note. Is that Rafal has been able to like extend some of these fights. He may not be the tankiest, he may not put out the most damage, but he's able to extend some of the fights by denying them the capability of leaving with
Oh
the
my god, a
GOP and
bone
stuff.
chair under a fall, and he's gonna get away with it. But yeah, as you were saying.
This cheeky Slaga. Slaga knows it too.
Yeah, and we see that point I made about Super Kamiguru earlier, not taking Sivers on the hunt because she could just spell shield, but maybe that's the bait that she gets hit by that glacial arrow. JJ Bell's gonna get locked down for 3 seconds by that, whatever that arrow is called, and then lose his life as a result. Tankaju's TP is actually gonna be turned off. As the fight continues, a Bone Spear gonna go down onto Labyrinth. He's gonna be forced infinite duress out of there. This Lugo, in the meantime, taking that bottom turret, is gonna move on for the inhibitor. Another Bone Spear towards Rafal. He's gonna go ahead and miss. Abduct is gonna go ahead and pick up onto Rafal. Rafal's gonna land a pop loss into a double kill onto the side of LDD. This is Lugo just clearing out the jungle from SVT as his team has successfully defended against that push.
Yeah, to be able to go ahead and just get the bot tower, get the red buff, and to have Rafal get a double kill. Like, I honestly thought Rafal was gonna die there. Rafal played that so well. Like, hold on, whose man is this?
Yeah, Rafal definitely using his lead to strength, and that glacial augment, as you were mentioning earlier, so big as their team definitely wants to play off picks. You just look at any of these champions on their team, every single one of them benefits from sitting in a bush or running people down.
Absolutely, and I do think the biggest thing to note is we do see the Nico picking up Twin Shadows as well as the GOP. You know, another opportunity to slow people down with activatables, and that's really what you want to do is just like hold them in place and shut them down. Like there's nothing else you want to do.
Yeah, without a doubt. And if she's taking that Ingenious Hunter, that is a 16-second and 34-second cooldown items respectively.
And that's probably what it is. It's probably the intent. And there we go. We do see it right there, just in play.
Yeah. It's great for scouting out, especially if you're a team that doesn't often play with vision very well. And here we see that's not the case, as they are just warding up.
Yeah, and that's actually a really good point to make. Slaga, look at Slaga's vision score. Slaga has won the 69 meme XD. But you have a vision score of 69 already at not even 30 minutes. That's super strong. Like, you're playing so pretty well.
To be fair, that vision score is a little inflated. When you do take Zombie Ward, your vision score gets extraordinarily high. And he does come equipped, and he does come equipped with that Dust Blade, which lets him see wards for free. However, that is not a disadvantage towards Slaga, as he is generating some incredible vision for his team.
There has been a brief pause. But yeah, that's before we get back into all the action. Like the vision score being inflated, I definitely agree with. But I can't help but feel. Additionally, there's just like he's had a lot more vision control and vision coverage. We've seen him clearing out a lot more wards, which is very good for him. Especially he's had a very good knowledge of where Biscuit Head is going to drop his pink wards. So he's been very cognizant and just keeping an eye on that.
Absolutely, and being an assassin himself, he does have to set up his own pools of vision to take advantage of those assassination opportunities. Very good on Slaga, playing his role to the point.
The real question is Slaga the AD? He's built a Dusk Blade, like that's an AD item. I mean, obviously you scale with AD and it's just that champion's dumb, but Slaga's playing well. I'm very interested to see how this adaptive helm. Side note, I could like jumping around. This adaptive helm from Tank Field Juice. I'm very excited to see how this is gonna play out. Obviously the area of effect, taking reduced magic damage, which is really good. Especially because you have the Lugo and Rafal, who are very heavy like burst AP champions.
Yeah, absolutely, and there aren't really better runes to take for those champions, so I definitely see why they went with them. As the game launches back into this, how do you feel about your earlier prediction on who's going to win this game?
I don't even remember what I said. I'm gonna be honest.
Uh,
I think I said I liked SVT. I liked both comps, but I think it kind of depended on how laning went. Now that we've seen how laning went, I do think the strength is gonna the individual strength is gonna be on the side of Labby Dabby Doo. But I think if you can get it to fives, like if you can just run it down mid as SVT, you 100% win.
all right, well, to avoid caster curse, I'm gonna go ahead and just pick whatever team you don't pick here,
I'm
so
gonna.
the caster desk won't be wrong.
Oh, good point. So I'll pick LDD.
All right, cool, cool. I'll pick SVT.
I'm okay with being wrong or right. You know, it's
Same.
we're all in this together. Oh, all right. So it looks like they're gonna try and set up for this next Infernal. Ooh,
Yeah, as the second Inferno, if it lands in the hand of LDD, SVT simply won't have enough damage to come back. As you can say, the Rise scales indefinitely, right? But so does the Sivir, and it's just those two Inferno Drakes are going to make up for that scaling. Here we're going to see the Glacial Augment being used expertly to fend off the entire team of SVT as they just can't walk into that Tangle Barb.
oh yeah. Just like you try and take a step towards it. Oh, there
And we'll
we
see
go.
Slagga use that Dust Blade to expert, and we have seen the same exact step the last time the Inferno Drake was up. Tankfield Juice once again walking to rupture that bush, but the Parallel Divergence is going to go ahead and save Echo half his health. The Pot Blossom is going to bring her in and snare up 3 members. Immediately Torpedo goes down as he has no escape. Tankfield Juice is doing what he can to tank. Vitalis Odysseus is left to free fire his machine gun. Spells need to go ahead and blow up. This is Lego's result. Rafal's going to go down. Super Kamaguru doing his best to tank with Kingslayer, and the fight's actually going to go towards SVT. As they were just able to keep their front lines alive during that fight. They're going to be rewarded with an Infernal Drake of their own.
I don't know if they're gonna have. Oh well, yeah. I stand corrected. That's Cho'Gath. He can just eat it. Honestly, I just want to see this Cho'Gath devour it. How much damage does Cho'Gath devour
If
do?
his ult came up in the next 10 seconds, he possibly could. But instead, we're just going to see Machine Gun Rise push out the mid wave, as most teams should be while your team taking an objective. However, Labyrinth might smell something's going down in Inferno Drake, but he's not going to risk it. And the Inferno Drake is going to go to SVT after all.
Yeah, and now we see the pretty, I would say almost even dragons. The biggest difference is the Earth Drake. And Earth Drake, while I do think it's very impactful, I think the other two Drakes that have been secured from both teams are more impactful. Infernal's obviously going to benefit to team fights. Now you're a little bit closer on even playing ground. And we've seen the team fighting capability. Now just giving them the extra damage is going to make it a little bit easier for SVT to sit back and not be as, I'll say as worried, but we see that, and then
No, I can what you're saying.
yeah, and then the move speed as well, just allowing them to have that. Ooh.
As we were talking about infinite scaling, we see a flash being wasted by Vitalis Odysseus as he chases into Glacial Augment, and a pause going to come out as Dankfield Juice was definitely AFK and disconnected in that bush. But I'm going to go back to that scaling point, whereas I mentioned how if they got 2 Infernos on LDD, they scale indefinitely, but now that the Infernos are evenly split, SVT actually has the massive scaling advantage here. Torpedo needs to get a real build online, and we see that he's going for that Blade of the Ruin King. Super Kamaguru, as soon as he hits level 16, is going to be a monster to deal with, as he's going to get to use every single person's ult in a team fight, as his ult goes on a 7-second cooldown. And then Vitalis Odysseus on this rise will never scaling. And
Yeah.
And last thing to answer Noxio's question in the chat, that rainbow poop trail that comes out of these champions as they recall, that's a 1 blue essence icon you can buy in the store. That is also a retracted icon that you could have gotten in the past too.
I'm very now. So now we're starting to see like where the leads come in. Like Rise is worth so much money. Labyrinth is worth so much money. Like these target picks are like what's gonna happen. But we do see Labyrinth playing a little bit more safely, and that's kind of what you want.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We see Tankful Juice has come back online, and just to address the OPTSM fan that's vying for my attention in the chat, here's me responding to you. I talk so much shit about Tsukami Guru now playing the Silas in the jungle early game. He just seemed to have made it work, and I'm just so excited.
Yeah, and that's really like this is really what you want. Is you really want to see Tankfield like do his thing. You want to have Kami, like Super Kami has like you said filled into this role very well. It's just very like It's very interesting. He's picking a lot of these ultimates very selectively, and he's setting them up like so well. So his knowledge of the champion, even though it's a brand, I don't want to say brand new, but newer champion, um, it's just absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Cho'Gath definitely being one of the champions that's definitely gotten a few buffs in this last few patches, and Tank the Juice, true to his name, just playing tanks crazy well.
Yeah, and that's just actually crazy.
However, Tank the Juice, regardless of being in a negative matchup, actually not as bad as it would have been on hit Nico, but being in a negative matchup versus AP Nico did very well, managed to stay within the 20 CS differential, and that's actually a fair CS deficit when you're in a losing lane.
Yeah, and it's just there's so much going on. Like there's so many. Just I'm still trying to like figure out who's won, how this tank to like top lane build has been going, because we see the Morello come out and like the Grievous Wounds is going to be really effective for that. I think it's Grievous Wounds.
Yeah.
But like, gosh, like this we're 31 minutes into the game. Like we're starting to get to the point where, you know, most people are full build. Well, close, if not they're close to. Like we see Lugo 3 items in. We see Vitatis 3 items in.
Yeah, we're definitely at the point of the game where it's considerably late game now, right? We've hit everybody's 3-item power specs, as you're mentioning. So teams like SVT's team setup is definitely going to be stronger than LDD's now.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, but we'll see if LDD can still use their pick advantage. We're going to see them put Lugo in the bot lane, forcing pressure around Baron, requiring that Ryze go back and match him with his own teleport. And we know that Ryze is a good matchup in Echo. You see a Tangle Bar knock up, or catch up on the Tank for the Juice. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to fly by and just field goal past the team of LDD. That Scon's going to go on the Scuttle Crab, but we're just cleaning up towers around the map while everybody dances for Baron. One of the dangers, an Infinite Duress comes out of Tank the Juice, but a Rupture's going to fall, preventing the Tangle Bar follow. Tank the Juice doing his best to absorb all this pressure. Lugo's going to come in with that Parallel Convergence, that Phase Dive Time Winder combo onto Super Kamiguru now. Super Kamiguru now already having hijacked and open. It's going to have to walk away. The Pop Blossom is going to go ahead and lock down Vitus, Odysseus, and Tank the Juice are both going to go down, opening up the pathway to Baron, as the wave management from Lugo has set up this Baron cleaning.
Yeah, and now we're going to set up for Baron, and this is going to be, I'm not going to say it's easy, but we do see Lugo in the back, going to set up for some sneaky shenanigans.
Yeah, and this 5v3 is going to go terrible as Abscond Duck Kingslayer is going to go right in. Parallel Converge is going to set up splitting up the game. Super Kamiguru now is going to go ahead and use a Pop Loss and getting a massive shield. He's going to Jamie Lannister for some health, but he's going to die in the meantime. And LDD is going to go ahead and turn right back onto this Baron buff.
Oh, there's Slogus. Slog
is going to go ahead and look for a Bone Skewer Phantom Undertow combo, maybe followed by Death from Below. He's going to go ahead and misses Death from Below. He's going to get run away. Tempesture's going to teleport in with a Rupture, Feral Scream, Vorpal Strike, trying to set up for that feast. He's going to barely kill him with the assistance of Baron here. Another Rupture's going to keep him alive. Maybe they're going to push Team LDD off the Baron with these life sacrifices.
Yeah, and that's kind of, it looks like that's what they should do. I don't know, there's just a lot of like continuing to shove this sole passive objective that's up right now, because what, Dragon's not up for another probably minute or two.
Yeah, absolutely, and I definitely want to point the viewer's eyes toward the minimap. Note how this is Lugo had set that fight up by making sure the bot lane and the mid lane were pushed in his team's favor before they went to the Baron, so that regardless of what happened to the Baron, his team got an advantage out of it.
Yeah, and additionally, look at all the vision coverage around the Baron by the side of Labby Dabby Doo. Whether you know to the whole team, I don't know if it was an individual or the whole cohesive unit, you're able to see that they have total control of that area, with the exception of maybe one pink ward, but like they know, like we have vision control, so if they started or they do anything, we'll be able to stop it. And it looks like they're either gonna look to just clear vision, or they're gonna look to try it like entirely.
Yeah, one of the weaknesses to Team SVT is if you send on Vitus Odysseus to go solo clear against Lugo, you lose one of the strongest players in the actual opening of the game. Meaning you're gonna miss out on so much damage. And speaking of players, is not doing that much damage. The torpedo actually hasn't leveled up in the last 5 minutes of this game. We're hoping Team SVT gives him some minions to take down.
Yeah, and especially when you're, when you're an Ashe and you're 2 levels down to the opposing AD, it's very rough for you to be to feel relevant or be like a part of the fight. Because all you can really do is just ult in and hope for something.
Yeah, and as we go into the late game, I would mention how SVT scales so well. However, Pyke is definitely not a champion that scales in the late game, and we're gonna watch as this Lugo is gonna have no problem pushing in on tank field juice as he has that 2-level advantage.
Yeah, and that's just this is where you start to. It's either going to be the slow stranglehold.
The Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to go ahead. Biscuit half for a 2-second stun as she was just far away. Rune Prison followed by its Ducks going to keep it in place. Biscuit is going to go very low. The Blue Spike going to take him down. And they're going to go ahead and walk away for 1-0. Echo's going to come up behind. He's going to throw down that parallel convergence. He's going to go ahead and phase dive in and time winder into a boomerang blade to take out the torpedo. Super Kamaguru going to be forced to golden mode and going to get rised out of there. He's going to go right back in for that Scott, but it's going to miss by a spider genitalia part. He's just going to barely survive.
Is that an actual unit of measurement?
Absolutely is.
Alrighty, I'm going to use that then.
It's easier said with a single syllable word, but this is a family-friendly stream.
By the length of a spider generator. So, like, what would you estimate, like, in terms of pixels is the length?
Probably a nanometer.
Nice. We do see.
We're gonna see LDD reward themselves with a quick Elder Drake. Elder Drake, unlike Baron, doesn't have very many defensive stats. Quick Tango Barbs, Pop Blossom. Sorry, Tank Barbs to whatever Nico's Q is called is going to go ahead and take out Super Kamaguru as he tries to borrow that Pop Blossom skill.
Yeah, and now they're gonna rotate to Baron, and they're gonna use the fact that Kami is down. They're gonna hope that they can just do this fast enough, and especially with the Elder Dragon buff, they should have enough damage to get it taken care of. But they do have vision.
Yeah, unfortunately, this vision's not going to be enough time as Echo single-handedly is holding off the entire team of SVT with his Time Winders. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to go ahead and hit JJ Bell for a 3-second stun, but the entire team's going to walk away with that full Baron buff.
Yeah, so this is where we start to see. This might be where the slow, stranglehold comes in. Like Lugo picking up Rabadons. He's pretty huge. He's 4 items in. Lichbane, Morello, Protobelt, Namacon, bought a stopwatch, so probably he's gonna build a Zonia's last, and that's just absurd. Lugo's gonna be huge, or Lugo is huge.
Yeah, and not even looking at the 6k gold deficit here, just thinking about the sheer XP deficit that SVT has fallen under compared to LDD means that they're going to just be missing a bunch of base stats. And JJL picking up this Executioner's Calling is going to mean that Super Kamaguru now's Kingslayer is just going to be complete as a frontline option.
Absolutely. And we see this is where it is. This is where it ends. This might be the slow stranglehold to the end. We see Lugo bot.
It's interesting that Team LDD decided to just go with a 4-1 instead of pushing that midway, but this is Lugo just chunking down that tower with the Lichbane, and by the time that Dizzy is not able to step up without just going all in on this.
Yeah, and that's really the hardest part of it all, is they do recognize that Super Kami was looking for something cheeky there, but Lugo getting a massive amount of a massive shield from his parallel convergence, so it's really good for him. They're just gonna try and keep shoving, and there we go.
This is Lugo taking that inhib away from Vitalis. It is that parallel convergence giving him more than enough shielding to deal with Vitalis. He's gonna go ahead and use the Chrono Break back. He's gonna try to phase that Protobelt, but Vitalis is gonna go ahead and go golden mode with Zanya, just followed by mimic ability from this is Lugo. Both you're gonna throw Biscuit out of the fight, but Infinite Duress gonna lock down Tank Juice from doing any tank fielding. Papa Blast is gonna lock up Torpedo. He's gonna go down right away. That Tangle Barb's gonna take down Tank Juice, and the rest of SVT is gonna have to sit in their base. Parallel Conversion is gonna lock down 3 people as he phase dives in to lock it up. That Time Warning is gonna cause 2 more people to go golden as the rest of LDD finishes off the game, and I'm pretty sure SVT loses here, or call me Joe, as we see Death and Below pick up a kill for Slagas, and he's gonna try to save the game, but no, he cannot, as he also goes down while sharing 300 gold for the rest of his team. Congratulations to Team LDD for winning an opportunity to play against, I believe, UTD.
Yeah, I think UTD won. I think.
UTD lost, which would mean the winner of this gets to play against them, I believe. But yeah,
Regardless, that was a
yeah.
very good game, and I know that we don't do, we're not going to do official MVPs, but based on that game and how it went, who do you think gets MVP?
I would have to say this is Lugo earns MVP that game. He definitely just macroed out the game on his own, having his team just group wherever he needed his team to be, and then alone he held off just troves of people, landing some key parallel convergences.
And I would agree. I would say Lugo is well deserving. As I would actually also say, I would argue that Labby or Rafal. I think most of I think those three were the strongest. Nothing to JJ Bell or Biscuit Hat. Both of them were very strong players as well. Especially on the Nautilus, there's a high impact support in JJ Bell and a very comfortable pick, doing a lot of damage. But Labby being able to notice, okay, this is where I need to alt and get these individualized picks, take care of that, as well as Rafal being able to just like utilize his advantage and like his matchup advantage. But to before we leave, I do want to shout out Vitalis for most damage in the game, 28k,
Yeah, definitely good job, Vitalis, for trying to do what you can with that team, and good job to both teams. Can't wait to see you guys in the playoffs.
which speaking of which, I think this week is quarterfinals, isn't it?
Yeah, quarterfinals do start this week.
Oh boy. So if you guys are looking for some more wonderful PMA LCS League of Legends amazing content, be on the lookout. There'll be some updates, there'll be everything going on. But for now, I think that's all we got. Thank you, Legends. You did awesome. I feel like I contributed absolutely nothing, but you're the man.
Dude, it was such an awesome time casting with you. Thank you for having me. I can't wait to play or to do it more in the future.
All right, so let's do it again like next week, like same time, same place. But signing off. Good luck to all the teams out there. Good luck to everyone watching. GG's to LDD and SVT, and we'll see you next time.